So it's these gay men, formerly gay men, formerly. And, I say all the time, sexuality is instinctive. It's how you're wired. It's not a choice. It's not a decision. So it kind of speaks to what we talked about last week when the whole Donnie McClurkin thing happened. We have got to get out of this idea that we can pray the gay away, that shock treatment will make the gay go away. It's inherent in who you are. I didn't choose my skin color. You didn't choose your skin color. You don't choose your eye color unless you're buying colored contacts. You don't choose how tall you are, how short you are, how big your feet are. Like, you don't get to choose those things because those things are indigenous. Those things are inherent to who you are. And I personally believe that that is the same for sexuality, right? You were born black. You had no control over your race. You had no control over the family you were born to. And so this is why it is dangerous with the whole preaching about, like Donnie McClurkin and some of these other people, preaching that because some man touched me, I started to try to find the affection of my father because my father wasn't in the household. Here's the truth. I was never molested. I was never raped.
Neither was I.
My father was in my household. In fact, he texted me yesterday. Like, he's still in my life. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I do understand that in the case of rape or molestation, that can throw a person psychologically. You know what I mean? It can throw someone off psychologically, where it can cause them to think and question their own sexuality, right? But I believe that in a lot of cases, not all, but I think in a lot of cases when a predator sees a child and preys on the child and molests or rapes a child, they oftentimes can see the gay in the child. And again, that's not across the board. That's not always the case. That's not what I'm saying. But I think that in a lot of cases, when you have queer people who have been raped or molested, they think that they're only struggling with their sexuality because they were touched at an early age. This group, it's a group, and I think they're here in Atlanta. It's a group here in Atlanta, and they're all reformed gay men.
No, we're not knocking their ministry. I'd like to say this from the top.
We're not.
We're not knocking their ministry.
Right.
Because if the Holy Spirit led you to that direction, to do whatever the Holy Spirit told you to do with those people, we're not trying to knock that. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
We're not straight bashing the ex-gays.
Straight bashing?
The ex-homosexuals. We're not straight bashing the ex-homosexuals.
My thing is, I can decide today to not have sex, but that ain't gonna change like the feelings and the attraction that I have. So my thing is like, I don't understand it. But like going back to what you said, it's just an observation for me, because when I first saw like these pictures, and then this group picture here, I thought this was like a gay fraternity.
Craig, they don't look homosexual.
What?
They do not look homosexual.
A rose can smell a rose.
But baby girl, it's still a flower.
You're still a flower. He can leave you and take you.
He can shake you, he can break you.
Darling,
you're still a flower.
What I am is what I am. That's it. What I am is what I am. But my thing is, what's going on in these cabins other than praying? So you mean to tell me that y'all not over there fucking at this cabin?
So basically what you're telling me is that things don't need to be because a rose is still a
A
rose.
rose is still a rose. Because a rose can smell a rose.
Craig, I want those people because I know somebody's going to send these people this stuff.
They're probably watching.
I want you to understand that we as fags.
You including them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We as fags, trainees, punks, sissies, and bulldaggers have been on the hotline to the Lord.
That's right.
Since we knew what the hotline
That's right.
was.
That's right.
Because we've been, so when people be talking that shit about we don't know nothing about God and how we gonna burn, bitch, we met God before y'all.
You're right. But like with respect to those guys in this retreat and
Craig, yes, please say with respect.
Well, no, I just mean in reference to.
Okay.
I don't respect that. Because I just think that you are who you are, right? But I do understand, because I'm sure, I know many of them have been in relationships with men or dated men, had sex with men. And the truth is, if you're actively trying to suppress feelings that are there, then what are you fighting against, right? But I do understand that there are people, women who are struggling with their sexuality, as well as men who are struggling with their sexuality. But in this scenario, we're talking about men. There are men who I believe want to have consistent long-term relationships. And they've tried and tried and tried within the community, within the gay community. And because they keep ending up with 6-month relationships, 2-year relationships, they make the decision. They make the decision to find a relationship with a woman with hopes of having consistency, longevity, and just a life to build with someone else, right? Because everybody wants, I don't care what anybody says, we're all interdependent. We're human beings, so we're interdependent. So, which means we crave human interaction. And the truth is, because some have gotten to the point that they're frustrated with being single or hitting a dead-end wall, they make the decision, well, let me just go over here and find this woman and be in a relationship with her so that I can at least have some consistency. I can have somebody to share this life with. We can go on vacation. We can go to dinner. I have somebody to come home to. But then I will do what I'm doing on the side. I will bob and weave between the straight and gay worlds. I'll have sex with men, but I'll come home to my wife or my girlfriend. Because they're sick and tired of these short-lived relationships. And I think that's what happens. And that's probably the case with some of those men. They become exasperated with
this is you thinking this.
This is my thought.
Well, how about, and now I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Okay.
How about them actually having this conviction from what they feel might be God?
But do they have the conviction and as well as the attraction for the same sex? Because if God is convicting you to be something else, then you should no longer have the attraction for the same sex. If that's really what God is pulling you to do. If God is pulling you to a life of being straight, then you should no longer have the taste.
The what?
The taste.
The what, Greg?
The taste.
You mean on the tip of your tongue?
Correct.
And the tip of your penis?
And the tip of your penis.
And the tingle in your ass.
And your ass. I'm glad you went back there because I was going there.
The tingle in your ass.
That's right. You shouldn't have any of that.
Well, I just personally feel like pastors, lawmakers,
Yeah.
people who are egregious. Come on, Craig, I learned that.
Yes, you did. Go ahead.
People who are egregious
Mm-hmm.
to the LGBTQIA community
Yeah.
suffer from some form of it.
Yeah.
They are about to internally combust. And so because they are on the precipice of internally the precipice.
Uh-huh.
That means right there at the line.
Correct.
Because they're on the precipice.
Mm-hmm. But you fucked it up this time. So you got a little ambitious, bitch. You celebrated a little too soon. But go ahead.
They have to go out. They have to make these laws. They have to preach to a congregation of people. It is the reason why people have so many problems with the girls.
With the who?
With the girls.
Uh-huh.
And that's GHURLZ. With the girl. The reason why people have so many problems with the girl is because the mirror is turned around like this certificate right here.
That's it.
And they have to see themselves.
Yes.
And they are saying to themselves, how dare you
Live your truth.
walk on this earth being completely who you are.
Absolutely.
How dare you?
Right. And I got to shuck and jive and pretend.
And I got to fight these feelings. I got to overcompensate. I got to grab my dick every time I walk past a woman. I got to be a womanizer. I got to fuck 50, 11 bitches. I got to have kids spread all over the place.
I got to stand on this pulpit and preach against homosexuality to make you think that I'm the furthest thing from that. I got to create laws and pass legislation so that I can throw off the scent of the dog so that you all won't think that I'm a part of that community. I have to hide behind marriage. You know how many men and women, because don't think that DL only refers to men, because there are women who are on the DL too.
Oh, of course.